Why, hello there everyone, I'm the Kumo Sensei, and welcome to the live stream. I don't have too many plans for today, because I'm trying to get everything done early this week, so next week I can have the rest of it off to focus on myself, and my birthday of next week of course, so yeah, I'm taking some time off. Well, I'll still be uploading next week, but in terms of actual work, such as dance instructing and whatnot, I do have one of my other instructor fellows to fill me in for that week, so that way I can actually focus on actually having a break off with me, myself, and my personal life, honestly, with the people that I care about. So yeah, I've been trying to get everything done. It's been kind of crazy, honestly, because I still had to do a little bit more stage play before I can go off into the off season. I have gained a little bit of weight, guys, so yeah. It's good to see everybody, though. Man, there's been a lot of anime news, but I don't really talk about everything. I just talk about what I like. Now, some people do want me to talk about some things, such as the Bleach trailer and whatnot, and yes, I did see it. I thought it was really cool, but I can't react to it, because not on stream, that is, because it will get copyrighted. But maybe I'll do a separate video, I don't know. I'm not really the biggest fan of reactions. If I do it, is mostly because of the information that comes from it. Not necessarily me doing reactions for the sake of it. Did you read something? Not necessarily. I did read 2 or 3 chapters of I Became the Male Lead's Adoptive Daughter. Currently, what has happened is that Leonia discovered Filio's age, so now we know that Filio is actually 27, and honestly, he's much older than I expected. I know that Leonia was like, wait, you're not in your 30s? I thought you was a grown dude who was in his 30s. And he's like, he just literally smacked her. He was not putting up with that. I find it interesting that we now know he's 27. And it's kind of, I still kind of wonder what Leonia would do, because to be honest, not even us readers know as much as Leonia. Because you know, she's the main character, obviously. And she's pretty much already read and know what's going to happen in this story, because she pretty much got isekai'd to a book or a series that she knows. So she knows way more than we do. And currently, it kind of makes me wonder if Leonia even knows what she's doing at this point, because I feel like things are just happening. Leonia just kind of goes along with it. It doesn't catch to my eye that Leonia can try to dodge things that happens because she knows what's happening, or going to happen, that is. Hello there, John Knight. I hope everything's going well. I'm currently trying to get everything done this week, so next week I can have more time off to celebrate my birthday. It's next Wednesday, by the way, for those who are wondering. And also, during that day, happy birthday to Hirohiko Araki on June 7th as well. Me and the creator of JoJo share the same birthday, so I will always remember that, guys. So my birthday is on June 7th, so I may do a short birthday video to myself, I guess, to post on YouTube on that day. She'll use hockey, so no one can stand up to her. Oh, she has hockey? Okay, that's cool. I understand where you got that from, though, hockey. So she's literally going to be like Luffy with the Conqueror's hockey and whatnot. Okay, that's good to hear. So she has a lot more potential that she's going to show later on. Now, currently where I'm at, within the recent chapters, it's come to my attention that she's going to get a new new tutor. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but I find that to be interesting because the last one wasn't too well. But let's hope this one is better. But yeah, I do wonder way more. I don't know if I feel intrigued about the series or if I have more questions than answers. I'm somewhere in the line betweens of that, Marco. So I can't necessarily give you strong thoughts. And I know everybody's going to be questioning, why is my hair done today? Well, I've been doing a little bit of stage acting, kids, so don't mind my hairstyle. And yes, I do look much better on stage than I do on stream, okay? And I do that because I don't want to look like a handsome fellow. I prefer looking like myself, especially when I'm doing videos or being live. So yeah, I watched Demon Slayer Season 3 English dub premiere yesterday. Oh, that's pretty hype. I heard mixed responses with the most recent English dub of this season for Demon Slayer. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't want to give you my strong thoughts. I do know they have reputable voice actors within this latest season of Demon Slayer, so it gives me hope. But for some reason, some people are making videos, just like dissecting it and complaining that it's not on par with the Japanese version. And honestly, I haven't seen it yet, Mr. John Knight, so I can't give you strong opinions on that. I do have to say though, Demon Slayer is very solid this season, especially how they incorporate the CGI this season with the 2D and whatnot. It blends in so well, and nobody questions it. But the moment you see other CGI in anime, everybody just says it's bad. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I need to watch the English dub. Like, people say it's goofy bad. Other people say it's just not good. Some people say it's alright. Did you even watch Demon Slayer sub, John? Well, Marco, some people are sub, some people are dub. I honestly watch in sub first because subs always happen first before English dubs. And when it comes to English dub, usually now you just wait a few weeks to a month or two before you get an English dub. But man, back then you had to wait almost an entire year, sometimes even longer for an English dub. So it was good to see that there's more reputable and better better up and coming voice actors in anime. So, and I'm not just speaking about English dub as well. I'm talking about like Spanish dub, Portuguese dub, all the other dubs as well. Voice actors are becoming much better. So it's one step at a time, guys. John Knight, no. That's okay. English sub versus English dub or whatnot is not for everybody. So to each their own. I do watch both if I can, but not all the times. Only for specific series that I find interesting, guys. So if a series is interesting to me, I'll actually watch it in both English dub and English sub. One great example is like 91 Days. 91 Days is one of those series where the English dub is just as good, if not better, than the actual Japanese dub. And the only reason why is because 91 Days is an anime that is a Western setting. So all the characters are, Western, not, Asian characters. But hey, that's just my personal take though. I still don't like English dub as much as English subtitles yet, or just raw Japanese, but it's getting there, guys. I really do think that a lot of English voice actors are very competent nowadays. So I don't think it's a problem necessarily, but like I stated though, guys, I need to see season 3 myself. Any anime in subs. Hey, no, that's a question to Mr. John Knight. But hey, to each their own. I don't have a problem, honestly. I'm not really those people who complain about English sub or dubs. It's just really your preference, I guess. English dub or any dubs for that matter is more convenient, but English sub is more authentic in a way, I guess. So I don't really complain nowadays. If it was me from like a very long time ago, I would literally argue English subs or any subtitles over English dubs. But I think anything from 2012 or 2014 up has very good English dub or at least decent English dubs. And then I think by 2019, 2020, English dubs is pretty solid because you had really great English dubs. So hey, to each their own, guys. Oh man, English. Sorry, I'm not going on a tangent, but if I had to give you my personal inputs for English dub, a lot of the old series for anime, for their English dubs, they were not good. As a matter of fact, a lot of them did not try as hard because, number one, affording the licensing to make an English dub or any dub in any language was expensive because you need to go through licensing and royalties and also whatnot. And another problem was that back then, when you got an English dub or any dub in general, you had to make a different anime opening most of the times, or in general, they had to somewhat remix the opening, I guess. Hello there, Guts fan. We're talking about anime dubs and subs. So back then, the reason why they had to change the anime openings at times was because the music, even though it's licensed from a Japanese company, the person who owns the rights is the singer or the band themselves. So when a dub came around, they had to legit remake the anime opening. So this is why like old series has either strange or different anime openings, I guess. I mean, sometimes there's English versions as well to help it, I guess, such as Sailor Moon, for example, the old school one, that is, for their English dub. It is a very interesting history of English dubs, man. Sometimes they couldn't afford actual voice actors because the series they licensed was so obscure that like there wasn't really any how should I put it? It wasn't really anything credible. So like if you was to voice in it, it wouldn't really necessarily help your voice acting career. So a lot of people just volunteer, I guess. I don't know about that part, but somewhere along the lines of that. This is how you get stuff like ghost stories and whatnot. But time between dub is now you lose interest in anime. That was the case back then, Marco, but not anymore. Back then was a different story though. You had to wait years for an English dub. Like years. It was crazy. Oh man. I don't know if you guys are old school like me and Marco was, but anime back then, if you wanted an English dub, you had to wait almost anywhere between a few years to a year. You couldn't get it in months because it was just so complicated back then. One Piece has some English dub openings. Like I stated, there are some anime openings where it stays pretty much the same, doesn't really get changed. But it was a very confusing time because anime in the Western countries, such as the UK, Europe, Australia, United States, Canada, and whatnot, anime was very foreign. Well, it was more of a foreign media. So it was a different time then than it is now. So a lot of people, like Mr. John Knight, I don't think you was watching anime yet. And if you was, you were either very young or you probably wasn't born yet. Anime was a completely different thing back then. It's kind of strange to say, but I remember, was it SakuraCon 2009? Oh man, I don't think anybody remembers that. SakuraCon 2009 was one of the greatest anime memes to ever exist. I believe it's one of the first original anime memes, like here in the Western countries or whatnot. But it was such a different time though. But anime became more mainstream in around 2011, 2012 was when anime became mainstream. But what really put it on the map was Sword Art Online. In my personal take, I think Sword Art Online was where it started. And then Attack on Titan is what literally put it on the map. And even though Toonami was already around doing anime English dubs, it still wasn't as big until like Attack on Titan and Sword Art Online put it like mainstream everywhere. And you have to understand, in Japan, even now in Japan, anime is not as mainstream as what people think. It's confusing to put it that way because, when people think of anime, they think of Japan, but not everybody in Japan watches anime, guys. This is the thing. You have to constantly remind people about that. Yes, anime is from Japan, but not everyone in Japan watches anime. It is something that it drives me nuts, honestly, every single time. Everyone's like, yeah, man, I have a Japanese friend. I'm so cool now. We're going to talk about anime. Dude, just because they're Japanese, it doesn't necessarily mean they watch anime. There are some Japanese people I know that don't even watch anime like that. Other than your mainstream series, they don't really watch anime at all because they're just focusing on life. So, anime is big in Japan, but it's not as mainstream to most people, They're just like normal people like you and I. It's just kind of something people take out of context nowadays. It's kind of like, man. Well, let's not get into that bubble, guys, about the misconceptions of Japan. But overall, though, in terms of English dub, or any dub in general, it's much better now than it was back then. Definitely. Okay, guys, there is not much planned today. I do want to talk about some anime news that I couldn't cover. So, I would really like to cover those if you guys just give me a second, let me change the screen real quick. Alrighty. I do have some pages open, so let me put that up. There it goes. Display style. Did you watch Gintama, John? Gintama is a lot to watch, but I think Gintama is a very great series for people who just wants to sit back and have fun. I found this one to be interesting as a topic today. I didn't make a video on it because this is more of a voice acting stuff, something that I will like to talk about. So, hey, let's get into it. Is there a dub for Gintama? Yes, there is. I'm pretty certain there's a dub for Gintama, but I'm not too familiar when it comes to dubs and their voice actors, because like I said, when it comes to English dubs, it really, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then you kind of had to wait until it respectively does get the rights for people to dub it. No, but I heard of it. You have a lot to go, John, but you'll eventually get there. It just takes time. But this is an interesting topic, guys. Shigemori is not just a cutie voice actor. Saori Onishi restricts activities due to health issues. Onishi recently experienced dizziness and difficulty breathing. This article is written by Mikikazu Komatsu, so there goes credit where credit is due. And guys, let us get into it. So, voice actor agency I'm Enterprise announced on May 29th that Saori Onishi, Miyako Shigemori, and Shigemori is not just a cutie, will restrict some of her activities due to health issues. According to the agency, Onishi has recently been experiencing dizziness and difficulty breathing. In consultation with her doctor, she still has been active while canceling some of her appearances. However, to take all possible measures, the agency has decided they must prioritize the recovery of her health. For now, she will continue her activities within her comfort zone. Let me scroll here. The agency offers this apologies at the end of the statement. We sincerely apologize to all parties who have been cooperating with us for some time, as well as to all concerned parties and fans, for the great concern and inconvenience this will cause. We ask for your kind understanding and forgiveness. Oh, I'm stumbling there, guys. Okay, so now they're going to her credibility here and whatnot. So Saori Onishi, the only thing I know her for is voicing Eyes in Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? She also voices, I believe, Himiko in Food Wars as well. Shokugeki no Soma, for those who are wondering. So I don't really know her works too much, because she's I think the best way to put it is that she voiced secondary female characters, not necessarily the primary female characters. So I don't know her too much in terms of her works, but yeah, okay, so she voices Momoko Maeda in My Love Story with Yamada-kun. I love 999. I'm going to binge watch that series, actually, once all the episodes air. Millie in the Aristocrats Otherworldly Adventure, Save Me Gods Who Go Too Far. Haven't seen that one yet. Disastole and Summoned to Another World for a second time. I talked about that series, but I haven't watched it yet myself, because it doesn't pique my interest, guys. Yukisumi in Oshinoko. Okay, that was interesting. And Amaryllis, I think is how I pronounce it, and Dr. Stone New World. Haven't watched Dr. Stone New World. Well, I'm going to put that on hold because I already read the manga, so I know what's going to happen in Dr. Stone. But Saori Onishi, though, I don't really know her works like that. I know she voices a lot of like Kudere-esque type characters in a way, or characters that are, semi important, I guess. I feel bad because I don't really know her works, but any voice actor is pretty interesting to talk about, to be honest. Sorry guys, when it comes to my voice actors, I know that a lot of famous voice actors such as Saori Onishi, they voice a lot of characters, but I don't know every character they voice. I only know what I know. It's kind of sad, honestly, because like knowing people's catalogs of what they voice as is like the biggest like imprint in your anime history index in your head. I need to study more voice actors. As a voice actor myself, I'm way behind. And I keep flipping my hair because, sorry guys, let me change this to big screen for a second. Change my screen. I was doing my hair, sorry guys. Stage acting, I tell you what. It requires you to be good looking. To an extent, that is. but you will never see me wearing makeup, only on stage. But even then, I only wear foundation, so that way my skin looks more crisp. And when they do my hair, man, do I look like I look like an idol. But that's not the point though, guys. Either way though, I feel like voice actors sometimes get overworked. Now, I do know she's in our agency. Well, that's a weird agency. I'm Enterprise. I'm not too familiar with this Enterprise here, or I'm not too familiar with this voice actor agency. Like, I only know some of the big ones. I think this is one of the big ones, but I'm not too familiar. I need to study this, actually. So, what should I do for this? I feel bad because I should have talked about this on the channel, but, well, now I am on live stream, obviously. But at the same time, though, guys, like, my knowledge at times can be a bit lackluster, so I need to take notes. My anime notes is pretty outdated. Well, it's not outdated, it's just not updated, that is. So, this is a true thing about me, guys. So, back then, and even somewhat now, I actually have an anime index notes. Like, it has, like, about 5,000 pages. It's a Google Doc, by the way. It's a Google document. It's about, like, 5,000 pages long of just anime information. And that was actually my study guide for anime back then. Because every single time I watched an anime when I was way younger, I would actually take notes on everything. From producers to voice actors. And sometimes even the plot. And then I'll give my criticism and my critiques. So that way, as I grow older, I can look back on it and just laugh. I won't show you guys that because that's cringe, okay, guys? Maybe someday I will show you guys the anime stuff. I don't have all 5,000 pages anymore, guys. Some of them have gotten deleted, and some of them have gotten stolen, and then some of them I can't find them anymore. But approximately there's 5,000 pages of my anime stuff, anime news, or anime knowledge, that is. It's essentially a living textbook of anime history. When did I started it? Google Docs was not around 2011, I believe. I think 2010 or 2009 is when I created it, because why not? So, and then I stopped around 2018 actually, my bad, 2018 is when I stopped. So you're talking about about a decade of anime history on there. So, it's kind of sad because the honest truth is that some of the pages got stolen. Actually, the majority of them got stolen. If somebody could find them, I'll be much obliged. It was called the Anime Index. I have multiple versions though. One was called the Anime Romance Index. One was for anime, one was for action and shonen, another one was for anime movies, one was for live action, one was for mangas, light novels, and then I have one for visual novels and games. I put those two together though, by the way, guys. Games and visual novels were together as one. But in total though, it's actually over, no, it's just about 5,000 pages, I think. I don't remember the exact number of pages though. I don't remember it like that. I just remember hitting 5K. And the only reason why I remember that was because I was like this with my hands, like, yes, 5K. I can feel my hand trembling. The power of 5,000. I was flexing with my friends way back when I hit 5,000. And just because of that, I will never forget it. So I do know it's 5,000. I don't know if it's like 6,000. No, it was never 6,000, but it's somewhere there, guys. But anyhow, though, there's a lot more anime news that we should talk about here. I think this one here is building up to something. But yeah, that's just a history 101. But let us move on, guys. So this is something I find I still find this to be so strange why they're live streaming this stuff. But let me discuss about this. So, Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai Anime's Siscon Idol Arc video highlights Nautica. New movie releases next month in Japan. This article is written by Liam Dempsey, so there goes credit where credit is due, and let us continue. So, I'll read this first and I'll explain what this is about, because this is kind of strange but interesting at the same time. Less than a month remains until Rascal Does Not Dream of Sister venturing out touches down in Japanese theaters. 4 years after the franchise's first anime film, and nearly 5 since the groundbreaking TV series. The current series of compilation videos being released on the official Aniplex YouTube channel in the lead up to the latest outing has now reached the SysCon Idol arc, highlighting the confident Nodoka Toyohama. Sorry guys, let me reread that. The current series of compilation videos being released on the official Aniplex YouTube channel in the lead up to the latest the latest outing has now reached the SysCon Idol arc, highlighting the confident Nodoka Toyohama. Oh my gosh, that last name. Get a reacquainted below. So, sorry guys, I know I misread this, but allow me to actually sort of explain what's going on here. So for some reason, I don't know why Aniplex is like rebroadcasting a bunch of this highlighting stuff here. If I had to guess, I'm guessing what they're planning is they're trying to get as much money as they can from these theatrical releases for some reason, and I'm guessing they're going to use that to try to launch another season. This is just speculation for what I think, but to each their own. Like, I'm not really... Like, if I had to give my personal thoughts about this, that's what I think. But hey, it's kind of crazy because it's been 4 years since the anime film. Here's for those who have not watched this series, this is more of a I don't know how to relate this series to any other series. It's like Snafu, but if it was a fantasy element to it. The one thing I do like about the series is that the anime movie actually smacks. I would actually put this anime movie, I forgot what the first movie was called, but the first movie I would give it I actually almost cried. Oh my gosh, what a great movie. 9 out of 10. It's not, well, actually 8.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10, somewhere between there. But I really do think that this whole recapping and whatnot is more so of a way to try to promote the upcoming season if it does happen. Or maybe they might do another movie. I don't know. I need to read the light novels. For those who have read the light novels of Bunny Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, I would like to know what happens because I don't feel dedicated to reading this series. Because it gives very strange vibes when you read it, from what I've been told. The thing about light novels is that Kumo Sensei Book of Memories is not that level of sad, but it's pretty good though. I'm not gonna lie. You're almost cried. It's a very great series. That's the thing about John. That's the thing about John Knight. Very great series overall, especially the music though. So there's the ending song to this anime here called Fukugashi no Karute or something like that. It is a very solid anime ending though. Hyper gives that face expression like, oh no, man. But overall though, I need to read this light novel. The light novel is very strange. I think the best way to describe this light novel is kind of, it's like if you combine Snafu, Origaru with some elements of Monogatari, you kind of get this anime, but it's somewhere in the lines between of that. And that's all I really know about the series, in terms of the light novel that is. I need to read the light novels, but the only reason why I haven't is because I don't have time to read this, and honestly, I don't feel like it's worth the read, because the anime itself is already good enough. But hey, that's just my personal take, guys. If anybody has their own personal takes on this series, I would like to hear it. And also, if anybody knows where I can actually find some copies of these. Unless you want to read this in Japanese with me, guys, but nobody wants to read Japanese. But let us continue, though. I also find this kind of funny how there's a Spider-Man crossover. This is another anime news I really want to talk about. But yeah, it's pretty interesting, though. Overall, like I stated, anime news is so plentiful nowadays. There's always something to talk about. So, hey, it adds more to my knowledge and my catalog. So, like a lot of people who wonder, like, how do you know so much about anime and stuff? The question is, the answer is that you need to absorb everything. Like, everything that happens around. And that's what I do, guys. So, I live anime history at this point. But then again, I don't know exactly how much longer I will continue this anime stuff here. Maybe I'll write a book, or an audio log or something. Maybe, I don't know, discussing about anime history, like a memoir, and publish it. So that way, when new anime fans come in, they can just listen to my stories from way back when. because I remember so much about stuff like this. Spider-Man takes on Doc Ock in a Japanese schoolgirl body. Oh, wait. Oh, I misread that. Let's reread that. Spider-Man takes on Doc Ock in a Japanese schoolgirl body in new Shonen Jump Plus manga. The new series comes from the team behind My Hero Academia Vigilantes. That's interesting. This article is written by Daryl Harding, so there goes credit, where credit is due. And let us continue. So for those who don't know, manga and Marvel crossovers have happened in the past already, but it's been a while since the last one. So for those who are wondering, there was actually a Marvel crossover with I'm stumbling my words because it's so goofy to say. But way back when, there was a crossover between Marvel's and Attack on Titan. You heard that right. Marvel and Attack on Titan had a crossover way back when. And I remember Spider-Man was in that Attack on Titan Marvel crossover. Really great crossover, by the way, guys. But I really recommend people go check it out, because that was like one of the first few instances where there was actually an anime and a manga crossover. Well, there's no Attack on Titan characters in the story, obviously. It's just the concept of the Titans themselves. But it was still an interesting read, though, because Spider-Man's like, yeah, I know the weakness. I know the weakness. I know the weakness of these Titans is their back of their necks. I was like, oh wow, Spider-Man figured it out. He tells Iron Man that. That's interesting. But that was history 101, guys, for like Marvel crossovers from way back when. But let us read this. In the Spider-Man comics, Doc Ock has traveled around many bodies in search of the ultimate power source. In a new manga announced today to coincide with the Japanese release of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Ock will be going where no man should go, inside the body of a junior high school age girl. Japanese girl, that is. Isn't that just some crazy stuff, man? Like, God, these crossovers. If you never read a Marvel and manga crossover, like, it is worth the read, because it's either goofy or it's different. It is very different, I'll tell you what. Aptly titled Spider-Man Octopus Girl, the series hails from the team behind My Hero Academia Vigilantes, with Hideyuki Furuhashi writing and Benton Court illustrating. The series will be published on the digital Shonen Jump Plus platform and be a spin-off of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, as all Spider-Man related media now is. Spider-Man Octopus Girl follows Dr. Octopus as he falls into a coma and wakes up in the body of a Japanese junior high school girl, Otoha Okutamiya. The series starts on June 20th, shortly after the Japanese release of Across the Spider-Verse on June 16th. Isn't that like the craziest thing ever, guys? This is the thing that I like about Marvel and anime, or anime Marvel? They do these wacky crossovers. This is not the first time. They do this once in a very long time, but when they do, though, I tell you what, they do not waste the IP. They use this licensing to create some of the most wackiest and some of the most craziest stories of all time. I know that people don't really like Western culture crossing over with Japanese culture and whatnot, but man, this is one of the goofiest ones I've read, well, I heard about until now. I remember, I think it was 2014, 2016-ish, somewhere between that era, when they did that Attack on Titan and Marvel's spin-off crossover. Marvel did Japanese anime. Yes, they did. A lot of people don't know that. In the Western countries, they think that, like, our move, like, in the Western countries, like here in the United States and in Europe and whatnot, they don't know that in Japan, like, Marvel movies are pretty big in Japan, guys. Like, what is big right now? I don't really remember, but I remember a year ago, Doctor Strange was very big in Japan. As a matter of fact, sometimes when it comes to Marvel movies, once it releases in Japan, they actually hire Japanese voice actors to dub over the English voice, like the English actors. It's pretty interesting. I think Captain Marvel was one example I could use, I guess, because yeah, they did hire Japanese voice actors to dub the Japanese versions of Captain Marvel. It's pretty common, guys. Like, I don't know why people are not familiar with Japan. That's the thing that I find so confusing at times. But it is pretty interesting, though, how big Marvel is in Japan. Like, I don't even know how to start. There's let's just say that Western culture is bigger in Japan than what most people think. It's not just all anime, guys. Like, really. You'll see some crazy Western Japanese crossovers or some Japanese retellings of Western stuff. Like the Hunger Games, for example. Believe it or not, in Japan, there's actually a manga version of the Hunger Games. So it's it's pretty interesting, guys. But someday, for those who are not Japanese, or those who haven't been in Japan, or those who are not familiar with Japanese culture and whatnot, you'll understand once you get there. It's not just all, it's not just all Japanese stuff. It's westernized as well in a way. Zoro versus King. Yes, I like that fight actually. Zoro versus King was actually a very solid fight. I gotta give you my personal thoughts about that, guys. So when it comes to Zoro versus King, that fight was amazing because Zoro finally has control of the sword and whatnot now, his katana. Ooh, excuse myself, sorry. I find it to be very interesting. Oh, excuse myself again, sorry. I find that King is a very interesting, not just like interesting character, but he's an interesting race of the I forgot what they're called. But King is it's funny because I don't want to talk about the manga. It's kind of spoilers, but you'll kind of understand where King comes from though. King is pretty much not necessarily the last of his kind, but he's a very interesting case, I'll say. Not to mention he's OP as heck. It makes sense why Kaido took him in, because once you learn a bit more about King later on, if they haven't already explored it, Zoro and King are very alike. They are indeed. They're so loyal to who they serve. I actually like that a lot. I wish that I kind of wish they explored more with King and his race, like, because there's not much explored about it. I know that currently right now they're focusing on what happened at Reverie and what Sabo did in the manga, but I would really like to see what they do with King though, because like the thing is this, like up until that point, until when Zoro defeated King, the only thing we had about what King was that he was pretty much a very rare race of his kind. And then they gave us tidbits here and there, but that's really all we ever gotten of King. So when they actually, so when Zoro defeats King, pretty much they don't really bring up much about King after that. Which is honestly kind of like, it's cool, I guess, but like, I thought they was going to explore it more. Which they did, actually, but not in the way I was expecting, though. I was expecting them to, like, trace back the origins of his kin and whatnot. But instead, we learn a bit more about where he came from. Or where he escaped from, to be more exact. So it's like, yeah, we got what we want, but we could use a bit more. But I still like that fight, though. I have to be honest, I really think that the fight between Luffy and Kaido, the way it concludes is not satisfying to me. I feel that way, guys. Like, that's just my honest thoughts. Oh, hold up. And I don't even know where to begin. So this isn't. So I don't want to give spoilers, but I just give you my personal thoughts. I really could have. When it comes to Big Mom and Kaido, I feel like their fall from grace is warranted, but I don't feel like it's. I feel like it wasn't conclusively earned in a way. And even then, I remember when that chapter came out, people were still kind of complaining, saying that that's it. We thought it was going to be like some grand fight. It was a grand fight, but at the same time, it wasn't necessarily us seeing Luffy becoming as strong as he is. Even though he does become ridiculously strong, we also got to question, like, what's his full potential here? Yes, I agree. Kaido versus Luffy conclusion is very disappointing. Yeah, that's the way it is. Also, one thing I find kind of strange as well is this is in the manga though, so I'm just gonna hold back on that, guys. But I, chapters, man. Chapters 184, 185. Or chapters 180 to the current chapter. Not 180, my bad. Chapter 1080 to the current chapter we are now, which is chapter like 1086, 1085, somewhere between there. Those chapters have been interesting. Like a lot of things have been happening, but at the same time, like, oh my gosh, we need a lot. There's a lot of stuff to fill in. I could talk about One Piece all day at this point because of how much I have to say about it. But I choose not to, guys, because I don't want to, like, disappoint everybody with my opinions. But my opinions is not biased either, so it's just, well, it is biased, but I just tell you guys what I think. If I like a series, I like it. If I hate it, I hate it. It's just the way it is. Not everything sticks. Man, I also miss Red One. I guess we're in the same place. The group chat I got leaked. Also, guys, I want to talk about Viz Media. So this is pretty much where you go to officially read Shonen Jump series legally, guys, without pirating, I guess. And they actually added Dark Gathering here. Oh my god. This is they actually added Dark. I might actually read this now, okay, guys? But I can't read it on stream because the panels are actually copyrighted. So a lot of people don't know that, actually. So allow me to explain how manga panels work. So you actually show manga panels in a YouTube video and whatnot. You need to actually either edit the panels or censor out some of the words and stuff, or change the pictures, essentially, because it's copyrighted material. So if I show you a full panel of any one of these manga, I can literally lose everything because it's considered copyrighted content. So that's why in a lot of manga breakdown videos, typically the manga pages are either zoomed in, or the text is whited out, or somewhere along the lines of that. But it's pretty interesting to see Dark Gathering being added on here, because Dark Gathering is an anime, well, is a manga that has gotten an anime that is now coming during the summer. So I'm waiting, actually, guys. I have really high hopes for this series. Imagine manga sites adding animations to manga panels. That would be cool, but honestly, that's kind of like an iffy situation at the same time for like lawsuits at the same time. I still think this character design here for Dark Gathering is one of a kind, especially the skull eyes here. Like everything about this character design is 10 out of 10. I know that people wanted me to read the latest series as well, such as Do Retry, Temoku Cinema, and New Ways Exorcist. But these chapters these new series to me, like, look, man, this is gonna sound a bit biased, but I don't know if these. It's hard to say if these manga, like these new manga titles, will even last 100 chapters. Because one thing that people need to understand is that when Shonen Jump adds new series, these are not permanent stay series. So Temoku Cinema, Do Retry, and New Ways Exorcist is more so of testing the waters out. So Shonen Jump is currently throwing everything, like anything that has a chance to become the next big thing. Because currently, guys, where they're at right now is not really looking too bright for Shonen Jump, because a lot of their main series is coming to a close. Black Clover is currently in its final arc. And then My Hero Academia is pretty much coming into its final arc as well. And then One Piece is pretty much slowly approaching its end. So all of these new series, such as Fabricant 100, Cypher Academy, and like, you know, these three that has been added about like a month ago and whatnot, I really want to place my bets on reading these series because they might get canceled, like before even chapter 100. I think one great example of a series that got canceled even by a reputable manga author was Sukidachi 9, Samurai 8. There it goes. Samurai 8 was created by the Samurai 8 was created by the same creator as Naruto. And yet he couldn't even make Samurai 8 to work. And they still canceled it. So like, when people are requesting for me to read these new series, honestly, I'll be honest, Teimoku Cinema is probably the most interesting one because it revolves around acting, and I'm a stage actor. So I find this one to be the most interesting to read if I was to choose between any of these new series here. But at the same time, guys, I really don't think these series will stick around too long. Now, I'm not saying these are bad series. I'm just saying that I don't really place bets on stuff that gets canceled all the time, if you get what I'm saying. So this is why I don't really necessarily read anything that's Shonen Jump that's new until I know it's not going to get canceled. Because I'm surprised, because I remember when Undead Unluck came out, for example, everybody thought this series wasn't going to last. Because this guy here, I forgot what's his name. Everybody disliked him at first because if you read this manga, he's pretty much like a pervert. Like in the beginning chapters. So a lot of people thought that like this duo here wouldn't stick. And lo and behold, anime was announced, which is honestly surprising. The thing I find strange is that I feel like the series that tends to stick around are the series you don't expect. And then the series that are you think is doing good, they don't stick around long. Because either something happens within the author, you know, whether he's a creep or something, or health issues, or the series just doesn't sell well. But that's just my personal take. Because there's too many series that's already gotten canceled. It's just not worth my time reading a lot of these new series. So, hey, that's just my personal take, guys. Don't take it personal if I'm saying that the new series is bad. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that there's a possibility they might just get canceled down the road. It's honestly kind of tiring to talk about. Okay, why? There it goes. New Gintama is coming. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, the new Gintama is more so of a special and less of a new series, though. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Give me a second, guys. Because it's not a new series necessarily. It's more so of a new, more so of a, like a, hold up. Oh, I can't find it. Huh. Hold up. For some reason, I can't find it for some reason. It's not on their catalog here. Let me... Sorry, guys. I know I'm lagging. Just give me a second. I can't find it on here. That's kind of strange, but... I'm pretty certain that Gintama is more of a special and not necessarily a new series. But I'll take it though. Any Gintama is welcome here, I'll tell you what. Top airing anime. Oh, I thought it was top anime of all time. This top anime of all time is pretty much still rigged. I don't know, but... I'm probably just biased when I say that at this point. Wow, it's changed. Okay. But Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood was always #1. This is the one anime that can never be beaten. That's just pure facts at this point. And then there's Bleach, #2. So Bleach is... That's crazy. Bleach is still staying strong. Boy, do I wish it just stayed like this. For Bleach to be in the top 10. And there's Steins Gate, one of my favorite series of all time. Attack on Titan, Season 3, Part 2. Wow, Gintama is literally in the top 3, like in the top 3 spots of the 10 placings here. That's crazy. It's number 9, 8, and 6. The most unbeatable anime at this point. There it goes. I heard that Oshi no Ko was actually #1 for a while, but then it dropped back down to number 12. Huh. I still think Oshi no Ko is a great show. I wouldn't necessarily call this the greatest show of all time, even though people are overhyping the show to an extent. This is my personal opinion. I do think it's a great show, but at the same time, I do think it's overrated. Now, I don't say that as a bad way. I'm just saying that it's just overly popular, so don't take that as a negative context, guys. It's just my personal take on what I think about Oshinoko. Fruits Basket is such an amazing series. Man, this remake is 10 out of 10. I don't normally complain about like I don't normally compliment remakes to a very well extent, but my god, Fruits Basket's remake, it was amazing. And then you have Gintama again and again. Like, Gintama is always on the top 50. That's pure facts. It's crazy, man, how Gintama is that popular. 86 is on here too still. That's pretty nice. Man, that's a lot of series. I'm seeing a lot of Monogatari and Gintama for certain. I want to see what's the top manga. See if it's still the same, actually. Imagine a Skip Beat remake. That would pretty much never happen. If Skip Beat got a remake, I think that would be interesting. But at the same time, it's not really warranted. Or like, it's not necessarily wanted by the community. So I don't really see Skip Beat getting a remake. But if it did, I would definitely watch though. But it really just depends. Remakes come and go, and it's really just random at this point. It depends on the anime studio. Okay, what's changed? The manga top 10 list hasn't really changed. Well, Land of Lustrous went up, I think. Oh, Yasumi Pun Pun is number 10? This depressing series here? Oh my gosh. How is this... This is actually number 10. I can't believe it. Oh yes, Goodnight to Pun Pun, guys, is essentially a depressing coming-of-age manga story, essentially. It's kind of sad, honestly, about what happens in this series. But I think it's better if you go in blind. Because Oyasumi Pun Pun, or Goodnight to Pun Pun is what it's called in English. This is actually a very interesting read, but you have to go in blind. If you know what happens, it kind of ruins it, so that's all I can say though. I'm surprised it's number 10 though. Why is Fullmetal Alchemist for you number 1? Did I really put that at number 1 on my anime list? For my anime list? I hope not. I'm going to change that real quick. Because I haven't updated it in a very long time. If it is on my list as number 1, but... I do think it is a great remake though, without a doubt. Vinland Saga, Vagabond, and Berserk are like the trinity of manga animation. I don't know how to put it. Those 3 series is almost impossible, almost. Wow, the light novels changed. That's crazy. Oh man, boy, if Fullmetal Alchemist is my number 1, I probably would change that. Just saying. But let us continue though. The top light novels here is kind of interesting. It's completely different, sort of. Yeah, it's different. Okay, this is an interesting. Okay, this is actually very interesting. Monogatari, first season. So, the thing about Monogatari is that, as much as I hate to admit it, I have not read the light novels. And the reason why is because it's better to read this in the original Japanese language, because translating this into English or to any other language has been an absolute nightmare. A lot of people quit translating the series, so that's your warning of how difficult it is to read, quote unquote. High School of the Elite, though, I can't believe this is actually this high. I think it was like in the top 20, but it wasn't in the top 10, I believe, from the last time I checked. It's kind of, man, light novels, they be changing a lot, I tell you what. So, for those that are wondering, there's two Classroom of the Elites. This one here is their second year, essentially, though. And then this right here is the first year. So, first year and then second year. But I do like the artist, though. Because the artist... Great hentai, by the way. That this artist draws. But hey, that's just my personal take, though. Monogatari, for me, is number 2 anime. First one's Gintama. That's a fair thing to say. Everybody has their own personal favorites. Is an American show made in Japan classified as an anime? Huh. Honestly, it will depend on that on those terms. I don't really decide what is anime and what is not. It's more so of the creators and the people overall. So, in terms of animes like that, I really don't know, man. It really just comes and goes. But Monogatari is kind of crazy, though. Okami to Koshinryo. Spice and Wolf. Is that what it is? Yeah. 86 is on here. ReZero. Mushiku Tensei. Origaru. Utsuro no Hako to Zero no Maria. I could be wrong, but I think there was an anime for this. Maybe. I don't know. Ascendance of a Bookworm. I actually like this series a lot, but I need to watch the anime, though. I need to catch up. Overlords 15, that's kind of surprising, because the web novel and light novels, they kind of diverge to their own things. Violet Evergarden only got in 2 volumes. That's kind of crazy, guys. Can you see Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei rank? Yeah, I'll check it out in a bit. Just let me look at the top 50 here real quick. Konosuba 17. 18 is Kino's Journey. Kino's Journey is such an amazing series. This old school series here is such an amazing light novel read. I think it can be enjoyed by anybody. It just really depends on your outlook on how you view things in life. But it really opens your eyes to like different things. Steins Gate, Slime, Umineko, No Game No Life, Fullmetal Alchemist, Umineko again, Sword Art Online Regressive, okay. Yeah, but I'll check out, Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. So it's ranked number 806. My anime list, they have all these rankings on here, I tell you what. So, man, that's crazy. Like, you would think that 7.86 would be like a really decent score, but with the anime catalog so big nowadays, it's like high scores don't even matter at this point in terms of ranking. That's how much anime has been adding like onto the catalogs here for like my anime list and whatnot. Because like you go back 8 years ago, the anime score list, like the top anime list and whatnot, wasn't that big because there wasn't as much anime. Now there's like anime every single time almost. It's kind of surprising, man, how much like anime has changed overall in general. I personally think that like at this point it's impossible to watch like all the big series because like your lifespan is gonna run out before then. But maybe I'm just being biased when I say that though. But hey, don't take that personal, okay guys? You can still watch whatever anime you like. Sorry, I need to go back. I know I'm going back here, but I still want to check out some of this stuff. Katara Nagatari. But the story is a different thing. I mean, really, yeah, that's understandable. But at the same time, though, man, it's the overall rankings when it comes to, like, my anime list. So, like, everybody's opinions would differ, which reflects on the rating. I can't believe Katanagatari is on here. Man, what a great series. But the ending is not satisfying for me though, but I still thought the overall series was decent. I'm surprised. Oh, there's Eminence and Shadow, guys. It's number 37. Man, that's crazy. I remember Eminence and Shadow way back when. Like in 2018 when I was in college. Like, I remember when Kadokawa announces their new publishings and licensings and whatnot, and this series got announced. I remember seeing the first cover volume, but I wasn't like impressed. And now look at it. It's like such an amazing series for some reason all of a sudden. And then there's Umi Neko. I know that nobody knows what the series is, but Umi Neko, my god, is a great series. But it's literally one piece of visual novels, so nobody's gonna dedicate themselves to it. Umineko again. Umineko no Naku Koroni. Umineko. Basically translates to when the seagulls cry. It basically takes place in the same universe as Higurashi, for those who are wondering. But like, Higurashi fans will probably notice some characters in Umineko, 2 of them specifically. I'm talking about Birkenstell and Lambda Delta. But this is a series you should really go check out if you're willing to dedicate to One Piece levels of visual novel. Everything else here I either read some of it or am familiar with. Top novels. Mikakan no Kofuku. Kimi no Suizo wo tabetai. I want to eat your... Oh, this is I want to eat your pancreas. That's right. This one's actually an anime movie, but the novel is better. I recommend reading the novel, but that's probably just me who's saying that. So, yeah, this is my biases, guys. Omniscient Reader. I need to check that one out. Shosetsu Kimi no Nawa. That's the visual novel. Oh, wow. Mata, onaji yume wo miteta. I had the same dream again. This is number 12. Oh my god. This is actually one of my favorite novels of all time. Like, I say that because I mean that. And, like, when it comes to... Okay, here's the thing. When it comes to novels is essentially... Usually is only one book, which is why it's called a novel. Not necessarily a light novel series. That's what makes it different. But for a one novel series, this series here is one of the greatest coming of age stories I've ever read. The manga is good. There's a manga version of this, by the way. The manga is good, but the light novel... or this novel here is god tier. I don't know, like, I know people don't read novels, but this is one of my favorite novels of all time. It's essentially a story about a girl who's trying to understand how life works and happiness in general. And she eventually meets 3 individuals, 3 other women, per se, that will actually pretty much guide her along the way. There's actually a supernatural twist to this series, but this series only works if you go in blind. I actually, if you're a college student or if you're a young adult who has, this is an amazing series. You have to go in blind. I can't really describe it more than that. Like, I actually like this series a lot. It is a one-of-a-kind read. This is the same author as I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. So, same author as this one up here. So, numbers 2 and number 12 had the same author. I forgot what's her name. She writes a lot of amazing novels, by the way. Man, but I can't believe it, though. This thing is number 12. I think this should have been higher. You can make your autobiography novel. I will someday. I will. Probably. I know that not much people would know about this series, but this is a coming of age story though. So if you're a full grown adult, if you're a full grown dude, then this series is not necessarily meant for you. I say anybody between the ages of 12 to maybe the early 20s should read this series. It is an amazing series. It's a coming of age story essentially. But once you like here's the thing about this author. I forgot what's her name. When she writes stories, guys, especially those with a supernatural twist in some of her stories, it doesn't make sense until the end. But the thing is that it's not necessarily the understanding that matters. It's the characterization of the characters that makes it worth like the whole thing. This is an amazing series though. I still think this is probably one of my favorite novels of all time. It's definitely up there. I know that not much people may even care, but man, I really recommend people to read this, especially if you're a young person. The younger you are, the more this will have an impact on you, I gotta say. But let's see the rest though. Urasekai Picnic. This is actually, man, okay guys. So I'm gonna jump out and talk about this series. So Urasekai Picnic is actually a really good novel. It's a Yuri novel. My personal opinion, it's a Yuri series. But the anime... So the anime for Urasekai Picnic is not... I'm kind of disappointed. The anime is not that good. The anime is good, but it's not... It doesn't catch subtlety of Yuri in it. So this is more so of a Yuri series-ish, a Yuri supernatural fantasy-ish sort of novel. So yeah, it's kind of a shame to see the anime not do so well, but the novel here is amazing. I recommend people read this novel if you like Yuri. It is a Yuri series. You can't change my mind. I used to have debates about this. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get canceled for saying that. Yoru Sumino is the writer of I Had the Same Dream Again. Yes, that's her name, Yoru Sumino. Thanks, John Knight. But guys, I recommend that people read the novel. Like, I know there's a manga version and a novel version, but the novel version is the one you want to go for. I promise you, it's worth reading. I can't convince people, but if you're gonna stick to the manga, then by all means go for it. But I really prefer the novel. And the only reason why I prefer the novel is because the manga actually cut out some of the context. Some of the context and some of the wording got cut out of the manga. Because in manga it's panels. So if you're reading I Had the Same Dream Again, read the novel. It is worth it, I promise you. And you can buy it on Amazon for like $10 US, that is. Or somewhere around the price range of that. Really, I can't praise this novel enough. But it only works better as a read if you're in a younger age. As you get older, this one will not affect you as much. Because once the twist comes in, you'll understand the message. But if you're an older fellow, it won't really impact you. You had to be a much younger fellow. Because it's essentially a coming of age story about happiness. And a little girl finding her way through life. But really worth reading though. You'll understand the mystery once it all comes together. Okay, what's next? Byosoku 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters apart. This anime here is not that good. I know people keep talking about this anime, okay? This anime gets a lot of praise, but the novel is better. I really mean that. Oh my gosh, man. Novel is better. Another. I know this is a novel, but I never read it, so. Shinsekai Yori. Great novel, by the way. Kimi wa Tsukiyo ni Hikari Kagayaku. Is this the one about all the girlfriends I had before? I could be wrong about that. Watashi no shiawase na kekkon. My happy marriage. Oh, the anime is coming out. Oh, I'm so hyped. Okay, guys. Watashi no shiawase. Watashi no shiawase na kekkon. My happy marriage. I talked about this last time. Is getting an anime, and then they got a live action movie, sort of. I'm hyped. That's all I gotta say. I need to read this, man. I still haven't even. Man, I feel so bad. This isn't out to you viewers who are watching, but you know who I'm talking to, my friend. I promise you, I'll read this. Just give me some time. You know me. I am the romance god. I've written a Bible about anime romance, and some stupid idiot stole it. But I promise you, I'll get it back. Okay, but enough of the context. Let us jump back into this. All right, Hibike Euphonium. Haven't watched the anime yet. Lena Liddell. Already watched that. Oh, The Ring has gotten a novel. That's interesting. Uume no Natsu. That's interesting. Dive? Huh. Koisuru Kisechu. I need to finish reading this, man. I feel so bad. Oh man, forgive me. I have yet to actually finish. Number 6 Beyond, NHK ni Yokuso. Really great series. Death Note, number 6. Omniscient Reader. I haven't read that one yet. Hoten no Boo series. I'm not familiar with this one. Mikaka no Kofuku. Hold up. Why is there no... What up? God dang, I gotta click on this. I don't wanna... I just wanted to hover over it, but now I gotta click it. Okay, yeah, okay, I read this one already. Kuzunoki used to believe he was destined for great things. Ostracized as a child, he held on to the belief that a good life was waiting for him in the years ahead. Now approaching the age of 20, he's a completely mediocre college student with no motivation, no dreams, and no money. After learning he can sell his remaining years and just how little they're worth, he chooses to divest himself of all but his last 3 months. Has Kazunoki truly destroyed his last chance to find happiness, or has he somehow found it? Okay, I forgot about this series, like the 3 Days of Happiness. This is... Man, I don't know how to explain this series. It's kind of depressing. It is depressing coming of age, to put it simply. Like, this summary pretty much tells itself out, but I can't tell you what happens necessarily, because this is something you have to go in blind as well. Another great series, by the way. I mean, it's a good series, but it doesn't hit me as much as I Had the Same Dream Again. This is more so a people who's more... I don't know how to put it. If you're struggling in life and trying to find something, then I recommend people to read this because you can relate to it more. Because when it comes to novels, like stuff like this, you have to relate to it, but I don't. Solo Leveling manga rise the rank of the novel, and not by little. Yeah, but Solo Leveling though, and the anime's coming, so it's already is gonna get overhyped. I bet you that. It's kind of funny because now that you mentioned Solo Leveling, a lot of people are very skeptical about like a lot of people are very skeptical for Solo Leveling. So I'm breathing out a lot and I'm contemplating a little bit because it has me worried now that I think about it. I was hyped at first, but the skepticism that's coming in is starting to affect me now. But then again, though, we have to wait and see before I can give stronger thoughts and opinions about Solo Leveling. But hey, who knows? Maybe it'll be better than what most people say it is. Once the anime comes out, that is. But it's going to have to live and die on the anime. Well, this is such an interesting case, though, for this series. I can't believe this is number 1. Let's see what the reviews say. Oh, this is spoiler warning. Okay, let's skip that one. So they finally added this to the website. This book is incredibly painful for all the right reasons. I tell you, this is actually a really good story, but it's not for me because I can't relate to it. But if you can relate to it, it is for you, though. It is relatable in a cathartic and fire-starting way. The reader, typically a young man, will inevitably project all of their failings onto Kusunoki. In my case, 3 days of happiness spurred me to make my own life a little more seriously. To take my life a little bit more seriously. That being said, it is also incredibly beautiful, brilliantly written. It generates powerful images at every critical point of the novel. The author, Suguru Miyake, manages to catch you completely off guard on a number of occasions, especially in the final third of the book. Is that all? Okay, that's pretty much all. Yeah, this book is not for me, though. You were skeptical for Leo and Filio. Now look at you. Hey, I read that. Okay, here, hold on. I read that sparingly. I don't read 10 chapters a day, Marco. I really just I really just read it sparingly, to be honest. So that way I can enjoy it better. Because if I force myself to read a series, if I force myself into a series that I don't like or I don't find interest in, then I don't invest in it as much. So if, when it comes to I Became the Melly's Adopted Daughter, Marco, for me, I think what makes it works for me is that I read it sparingly. So each chapter has more impact than if I was to read it all in one binge. So that's why, okay? That's why I am here still reading, okay? I'm still reading the novel because of that. If I was to be forced to read it, I will cry. Is there a rank for I Became the Melly's Adoptive? No, we're going to have to check actually for that. We gotta check their mom was. Hold up, I'm scrolling real quick. Hey, Spirit Fingers. Sorry. Hey, there's Noblice. There's Raeliana. Oh, Vagrant Soldier Ares is on here. That's interesting. Nano Machine. Okay, that's interesting. Hey, Romance 101. Look at them. Kubera. I'm gonna look at these top 100 real quick for these manhwas. Fools are on here. That's interesting. There's Four Cut Hero, Witch of Mine. There's Dr. Frost. Oh, Unholy Blood is no more? That's interesting. Maybe I should go check it out. Huh. Helper is on here. Helper is pretty overhyped, but I do like Helper though. Argyle is pretty nice. Roxana, never heard of it. A Business Proposal? It ended? Huh. Maybe I should go read that now too. Sorry guys, I have not read manhwas in a while. I'm just scrolling here because a lot of these, they're either new or I stopped reading them. A Duty After School. My God, was that pretty bad? Well, it's not bad, but the ending could have been much better. Okay. How to Win My Husband Over. Haven't read that. A Good Day to Be a Dog. Wow, that's on here. That's 83. That's interesting. I thought it'd be lower. I thought the story here was mediocre. Okay, guys, I'm not trying to be mean, but a lot of manhwas are mediocre. Okay, let's see. Oh, right here. It's ranked number 96. Okay, Marco. I Became the Millie's Little Lion Daughter. So essentially, it's ranked in number 96. So it's tied with everything. So 96 is tied with 91. All of these are 7.8 ratings. So that's interesting. I thought it would, okay, not trying to be mean, I actually thought this would be lower. Beware the Villainous has already ended? It ended in October 2022? That's interesting. I should go read that now. Well, I mean, look, hear me out, guys. There's a lot of series I'm not caught up with when it comes to manhwas. So, some of these I gotta read, okay? So I Became the Millie's Adopted Daughter is ranked number 96. So at least now we know what is ranked. The question becomes like, will they go higher? Probably not. Manhwas tend to... Here's the thing about manhwas when it comes to ratings. Like, not just on my anime list, but everything in general. Manhwas fluctuate insanely fast. So, either... Like, okay, I take that back. It goes one of two ways. It fluctuates extremely fast, as in it goes up, or it goes nowhere. And in this case, I literally thought it was going to go nowhere. So, to see it in the top 100 is honestly impressive already in itself. And it's tied with these up here too. That's the one thing I just can't believe. I don't hate the series, but I thought it would be lower. Because there's so much good manhwas now. Like, the competition in manhwas is insane. Because the thing that makes manga and manhwa different is that when it comes to manga, it needs to be published. Like, it costs money. You have the art skill and whatnot. Manhwas, like, anybody can create it as long as they're creative. So, like, when it comes to manhwa, it's pretty much more free and anybody can do whatever. So, like, I thought the competition of manhwa would literally, like, flesh out, you know, I Became the Millie's Adopted Daughter. Depending on how many people rank manhwa, there's a big difference between 7.96 or somewhat. I agree, Marco. Ranking is pretty all over the place. It really just it's really just a numbers game at the end of the day. So whatever you take it out to be is pretty much what it's going to be, depending on overall ranking. Which ties back into the point of being with bias. There's a lot of bias when it comes to ratings. And let's be honest, some of these ratings are pure bias. But it's probably just my personal opinion here. Man, it's crazy how some of these series are just there. But hey, to each their own. Oh, it's approaching 5 o'clock here. Okay, I need to wrap this up, guys. Oh. Alrighty, guys, it's getting kind of late. Well, not late, but it's getting time for me to go on break here. So I'm going to call this a stream for today, guys. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. It was pretty nice talking with you guys. And I'm trying to think of when I'll stream again. Maybe I'll stream sometime between Saturday again, maybe. It really just depends. But let's just say probably Saturday. If not, then maybe next Monday or Tuesday. But it's almost approaching kind of late where I am. Or 5 o'clock, that is. 5 o'clock p.m. EST. But I gotta get going. Time, work, depressing. Yeah, depressing here. But yeah, it was nice talking with you guys though. But without further ado, that's really about it for today. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Thanks for leaving the likes and whatnot and supporting the channel. And until next time, I'm out.